3 o'clock, we will get started. Call meeting to order. Start with the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have a quorum. We have the consent agenda, which are the minutes from the December 19th meeting. Just need a motion, a second to approve those.
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty. All the dates are correct on that one, so that's all right, next up we have recognition of past board member Amanda Bevan.
Miss Amanda, if you could come up and join me, please.
Uh-oh.
I do like to speak to shoes. Tony, you want to come hang with us as well?
Sure.
You can. So I think I can speak for all of us that are up here. When you are elected into public office, I think all of our goals are the same. We want to come in, do the work that's required, and hopefully we leave it a little bit better, at least a little bit better than when we found it. So Amanda, you've sat on this board for a number of years. Unfortunately, life has steered you in a different direction outside of our township, but nonetheless, we are grateful for the time that you spent and dedicated to Washington Township. Me coming in just a couple years ago, there was evenings or weekends where we're texting or calling or talking, and even though you're like super mom that goes out and does everything in the world, as well as run your own business, you were still engaged and active with the board, and we certainly do appreciate that. That makes my job a lot easier. I can't speak for the other board members, but I would certain that they would feel the same way, that we appreciate certainly your time and dedication to the township. With that, we didn't want you to go, but since it happened anyway, we still want to recognize you and say thank you. We've got this nice plaque for you, as well as Ashley and I's fingerprints all over this thing. So that's certainly a piece of memorabilia for you as well.
Thank you.
But we do want to thank you for your time and your dedication here to Washington Township Board.
Oh, I appreciate you. Give it a hug.
And then Tony?
And on behalf of the members of the department, we want to show our appreciation for continuing to grow the department, assisting with opening new stations, buying new equipment, and of course, pension pay increases. So on behalf of the union and the local and the members, we present you this.
Oh, thank you guys. First you hug. I don't know if you want me to say anything on that. You know, sometimes when I start, I don't stop. But it's funny how much we've learned in the 6 years when we started all this. I'll never forget Don Hudson coming up to me at the Hendricks Regional Health Gala and saying, would you be interested in potentially running for a board position with the township? And I started dying laughing. That is hilarious. Then the more I started thinking about it, I thought, you know, I went through leadership in Hendricks County, and I'd love to get to know about my local government. You know what I learned very quickly? I knew nothing about local government. But over the 6 years, I think we've learned a lot. It's funny, I just typed something up in the paper that went to press today, and my graphic designer's like, that doesn't make any sense. I said, because it's local government, that's why it doesn't make any sense. So I am so excited about the work that we've done. Thank you for allowing me to support you. Thank you to everybody that voted for me. I cannot be more proud of where we started from and where we came. And thank you to Shane and Steve especially. We definitely went through a journey together. I hate that my journey ended sooner than I wanted it to, but thank you. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, up next we have the fire department merit system.
All right, bring Cranfield up here to hold my hand with this. So just as a matter of information is all this is. We're moving toward a merit commission. We've been operating under a safety board that is organized much like a merit commission. As of January 1st, it's law, state statute, for organizations with more than 12 full-time employees and covering more than 20,000 residents. There are ways we could have not gone to that. It would have had to have been a mutual vote between the membership and this board. The membership was going to go for it no matter what. So it wouldn't have mattered if we would have voted against it, because if we wouldn't have had an agreement, it was going to happen anyway. So by doing nothing, January 1st, we have a merit system now. So we've been working on the document. The way it works is we have 30 days. Well, we have to work on appointing our board. And then we have 30 days to adopt governance of the board, and then 90 days to adopt our operating system, or how we're going to operate and our rules. We're planning on having that done the next couple weeks. So we're not going to wait that long, because we still have to do business moving forward. The idea behind a merit commission and why we would want it is hiring, promotions, rulemaking, and discipline. They'll oversee a lot of that. It's just making us a little more professional. It's a next step in professionalism. Reduces political influence, professionalizes us, stabilizes us, and creates continuity and knowledge governed by Indiana code versus personal preference of those in charge. The merit commission is appointed by all entities involved. Trustee gets 2 appointees, township board gets 1, the union gets 2 elected members. By elected, it means all the members of the department have to vote on who is chosen or put up to be put in. The trustees' appointees have to be from different political parties. Currently, we have John McDavid and a vacant position because the person's an active firefighter, and under merit, they cannot be active. Under the township board, it's Joe Pritchett. He was put in last year in the departure of, the name's going to escape me. He was here for a while, but I only knew him for a little while myself.
Ernie Forrester.
Yeah.
Ernie Forrester, yeah, that's right. Thank you. And then the union had 2 elected members, and Eva Yaki and Lee Dorsey. Eva accepted it. They did a vote, and it was by acclamation. Nobody ran against her. No other names were put up. They must reside in the area for the last few years and be at least 21 years of age, versus a safety board that's traditionally appointed by the employer or elected officials only. So it just adds a little bit of fairness and gives everybody a voice at the table when issues of discipline or hiring or discharge come up, to stop some of the contentiousness that can arise during those times. The move ultimately creates a further cementation of professionalism in our operation. Avon PD's operated under such system for many years. Indianapolis is one of the original merit commissions for police and fire decades ago. And this recent change makes the merit board the standard versus the exception for departments with over 12 members and 20,000 residents. What I want to do is just come up to you because we brought this up here and there. It's never been a real discussion of a meeting, just to let you know that it is happening, and it is law now. But the idea of coming in here and having you guys take a vote or push a resolution, it wasn't needed, it wasn't required, but it was something we could have done. But by doing nothing, unless both entities would have agreed between the union or the members and the township board, then it was going to happen anyway. So it's just hey, here we are, and here's how we got here, and here's how this would have played out, whether we would have sat and spent hours discussing it or not. And I brought Tony up as a union rep just because it's something they wanted for quite some time. And we've operated under the guise of a merit system for a while, but it never was quite that. It was a safety board where we could still finagle the rules a little bit, operate a little bit outside of the published statute on merit, and have our own lane to be in, because safety boards aren't as governed per se on percentages and requirements as a merit board is. Am I misspeaking any of that?
Which is probably why the state
Mr.
is
Bowie?
getting rid of safety boards.
No, it's moving that way. The 2 pieces of code literally sit next to each other. And the core of what they both do for discipline is about the same. Merit board has a bit broader basis for grading things like performance evaluations and things like that. Now, in 21 years of private practice, have I ever had anybody grieve a performance evaluation? No, but they can under merit. Timing is good. Chief is right about the code, but also the timing's good because we did 143, 145, 145 bond and went through year's end. So Chief and I probably wouldn't have had any extra bandwidth or the trustee to do 143, 145, implement merit. You'd have had to carve out a little office for me in the back for us to do all those things. So there's room in the menu to do it now.
The good news for the board, the position that has been vacated and that needs to be filled is a position that I'm responsible for filling, not the board's pick. So your pick is still interested in staying in place, and so we don't need any further action from the board. It's just informational. We'll need to let you guys know that we are planning on proceeding forward with the merit system.
Awesome.
For the record on all the members, they can be removed at any time for any reason. So if you want to change your pick, you can. Otherwise, your 2 picks and the union's 2 elected picks, they serve alternating 4-year terms. So one of yours will serve a 4-year, one will serve a 2. Same thing with you. One of yours will serve a 4, one will serve a 2. Yours will stay for 4. Every 4 years, you can either recall or reconsider. So that's how it works on the appointed end. Over here, we can put them up for re-election or run somebody against them. It's up to you as well. So, all good?
Is there anything official we need to do to do that, appoint or anything like that?
Not right now.
Okay.
Since there's no change in your position, I don't know if you want to just acknowledge your placement staying, but as Chief said, should you change your mind in February, you could put someone else new on. So it's, if you just want the minutes to reflect it, that's fine. It might be something that as we get through this and actually have something more than an introduction, perhaps a workshop or a training or a, hey, for those that are veterans of the Merit Board or veterans of the Public Safety Board, let's just come and do here's what your mission would be. And if this board wants to do that, I'll leave it to the trustee if that's something you think is valuable, but
Okay.
I think maybe like a continuing ed thing of, I can come in and do rules of the road, and if the union wants to come in and just, chief or a member of the chief's immediate family wants to come in and have a conversation and just say, hey, this is what our role is in this, it might be really helpful for everyone.
Okay.
Because I just find in doing all the different places I work for, a lot of times it's, hey, here's the deep water, and they just throw people in, and it might be good to do an intro.
I agree.
We do have to do an oath for them. They have to be sworn in. So I plan on doing that with each of them because I don't know who has been or hasn't been under the safety board or who even did it. We will have to do that moving forward. So who does it? I don't know. It doesn't really stipulate that.
The trustee has the ability to issue oaths, so as a part of your statutory office, you can issue oaths.
Okay. So
So
that'll be
a
it.
fancy stamp.
It is. So that's what you'll do for them.
Yeah, I don't know if they did those before.
I've not had anybody
We
do
kind of
it.
nominated and then
That was it.
it was kind of something that happened in the background.
So there's a lot more formal and it is part of the rules
Yeah.
in the statute that says they will be sworn in.
Okay, that's great.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Do we want to say anything about Ernie just saying that we still want him to be that way, it's reflected in the minutes?
No, Joe.
Joe, sorry.
Joe.
That's right.
Again,
Joe Bridget.
yes, I think that might be
Okay.
good to put it in the record that, yeah, Joe continues to be our
Appointee.
Yeah, right.
Okay, thank you. Next up, we have reorganization of the Washington Township Board, which is us.
So what we're looking for is, we do need a chairman named for the board as well as a secretary named for the board. This is strictly at the board's pleasure, so you guys get to pick whoever they want that to be. If the other two want to gang up on them and throw out a nomination, then that's typically, I believe, how this works, so.
And the two guys to this side of the table,
Typically.
pick on this side.
Yeah.
Okay. I move we nominate Shane Summers as the chairperson for this coming year.
I'll second that.
Wow, that escalated rapidly.
Yeah.
Do I vote on that?
You can, but
You
you
can
still
stay or-
it doesn't matter.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
That's what you get for the-
Next up, I guess so. Next up, we have the election for the board secretary. I'm taking that role now.
You've been in that role, Steve? Or have, who, or was that a?
That was
Amanda was-
Amanda
I see.
up until her departure.
He functioned there for one meeting.
Yeah, he
Oh, you did?
For one
Yeah,
meeting, for one meeting.
Yeah, I did sign a couple of things with the secretary.
And, I mean, with me being the new guy, I'll nominate Steve Blackman to be secretary.
All right, I'll second that.
Okay.
Deciding to get away on it.
There you go.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's easy enough. Then we had the reorganization of the Washington Township Finance Board, which in the past, we've typically kept it the same as what we've done with regards to the current board, it's just a mirror image of that. So it would be basically, we make up the membership of that, and then the same structure from a chairperson and the secretary.
Okay,
So
and do we do a motion on that?
we would have to
Yeah,
vote on it,
okay.
yeah. So we do that individually, Jeff?
I think you can just do it.
Okay.
You break it, break the two apart, so.
Do we need to have a separate motion for the designation of members, the township board assuming the role of the finance board?
Let's just do it as a group. Just say the board is constituted, is gonna act as the finance board.
I like that. That sounds very good.
Yeah.
So you take the big one. All right, we see a motion to say that then.
Okay, I move that the Washington Township Board mirror the finance board, both in membership and in chairperson and secretary.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, done. Any old business? I don't think we have any old business, do we? I know the department reports, you guys didn't have time to get those.
It's only January 2nd, right?
I don't know, maybe you guys are wrong. All right, new business up. We've got resolution 010225-1, declaration of surplus property.
So I believe everything on this surplus list comes from fire. So this is equipment that is either no longer used or equipment that has been replaced with other equipment. And so before we can work at putting anything up for sale or for auction, we do need to have that declared surplus by the township board.
One question. The 2022 Polaris,
Mhm.
that seems kind of new.
It is. We have two newer ones. So,
We have newer than the 22.
yeah,
Oh,
so here's the thing. To put something like that in service, whenever that particular piece would be put out or deployed, people don't tend to go missing for whatever reason in good weather, right? It's either extreme cold or, a super hot night or bad weather. And that thing has, it doesn't have the solid side doors, doesn't have HVAC, everything clouds up whenever you get in different types of weather. You end up fogging it up, can't see where you're going. And to have all of that retrofitted is almost half the cost of a new one. So it made no sense. It's also undersized for what we do. It was fitted to have a cot put on the skid. Well, when you put a cot, which is quite substantial now that they're all electronic, a person, and then, a paramedic or EMT in the back, that thing didn't want to ride on all four wheels. So the suspension would also have to be beefed up, and we've done a little bit of work on it. It just wasn't significant enough. So the best thing to do was just wipe the slate clean. And we go out for the 5K runs around here in Plainfield. We go out for some calls. We need to have things set up for what they're going to be used for. With our EMS division being a lot more active, we're a lot more present. With our run strings, the park systems and so on that we have out here, we want to make sure that we have the appropriate piece for the appropriate reason, and to go out and retrofit something versus just start over, it just makes more sense. We advertise it in the paper for surplus. We did all the things we needed to do for trade in a bid. We're trading it in. We already have taken delivery with two new units. And those units are 1,500s versus 1,000. They've already got the appropriate suspension, the appropriate size. They have all the bells and whistles they need for appropriate response. And in all honesty, buying both of those minus the trade-in versus the cost of this one, with the cost of the upgrades, it was not a significant difference in price in total based on the discounts we were able to receive. And do we get rebates too, Chief Ward? And rebates that came on top of it by getting that done in 2020.
Well, unfortunately, the 22 being as new as it is and the miles being as low as they are, we were able to get good value out of
Yeah,
it.
it's all
So
brand new.
Is there anything else we should add to it?
No.
Okay, good.
Okay. Any other questions?
So I was gonna comment, I mean, you would have been out of it would have been out of commission during retrofitting
Anyway,
if you went that route, so.
it just, it's not what we've talked about over and over, is just putting the thought into the purpose instead of putting the purpose ahead of the thought process. That's all it was.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
Man.
Okay, I move we adopt resolution 01/02/25-01, declaring surplus equipment.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Last up is the uncashed check write-off.
So as the memo in your packet said, in accordance with the Indiana law, we are notifying our Township Finance Board that we do have a list of checks that are on that memo that are more than 2 years old as of the end of this last year. So at this point, these checks are going to be voided, but we are under obligation to make sure that the Finance Board is aware of that. So this is your official notice. That's what we have happening.
Okay. We don't have to do anything with that, do we?
No, other than just acknowledge the fact that you've now seen them.
We have now seen it, okay. It's not a ton of different things, so, okay. Very good. I assume we have no other new business? It's
No.
always the fastest meeting in the world, so.
I know there are some comments for the
Okay.
next one, so we won't buzz that one.
Gotcha. Any public comment or wishes to be heard?
Couple of things that came to mind as I took a seat and saw firefighter Dickerson here on January 15th at 7 a.m. We're gonna have, based on the remodel, we're gonna have his retirement and his walkout here.
Oh,
So it'll start at 7:30. There's an A&R following that at around 9:30. I think they moved it a half hour, but 31 years of service by the time that happens. So we appreciate him and still coming to the meetings, participating. But just so you guys know, coming to things like that, I think we've determined not to necessarily be in violation of any open door if they're here to celebrate something. So I would ask that all three of you, if you're available, January 15th, to come to that. We'll have some things out on social media and put out some emails and invitations for everyone too. But just so you know, a public meeting and just a public thank you to Doug. It's a lot of years of service, man. It's 30 years. It was the first 30-year career person we had whenever we gave him his award last year. He's going to walk out with 31 years. So it's a long time to do this job at a high level. So we appreciate him for that. A few more coming up. They're in the back of the room. They'll be here soon. So, also, we're going to move the groundbreaking to the 12th instead of the 6th. I got to have a meeting with Mitch Hannum tomorrow. We will move the groundbreaking for Station 5 to that. We're also working through some small nuances here and there, just little things.
January 12th, right?
January 12th. It should be a Monday.
That's a Saturday.
That's a
13th.
Well, then I meant the 13th.
Okay.
One of those days.
AM, PM.
That I don't know. I have to talk to Mitch. I will put that out. I just want to make sure you knew it wasn't the 6th. Yeah, it'll be the 13th. I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you. But yeah, so we'll do that on that day. I don't know exactly what time. I would say probably closer to lunchtime, but I'll talk with Mitch and see what they have planned,
Okay.
what they normally do. So we'll try to make it convenient as we can.
Okay.
So, but that's it. I want to give you guys that info.
Very good.
I do have one thing.
Okay.
I just want to recognize well, the whole department. Unfortunately, within the last week, Avon lost a graduate that was serving as a police officer over in Ohio. And even though it was short notice, even though it was a holiday week, the department presented her with an honor of being able to have the drive underneath the flag of the procession to do that. Just the fact that it was able to get done relatively short notice is just one of the things that makes me proud of this department. So I do want to say thank you to everybody that had something to do with that.
Yeah.
Same position.
Yeah, ladder 141 from today's ship, and that was the ones that took care of that detail. So.
Very good. Any other public comment I wish to be heard? Again, Amanda, thank you for 6 easy years.
Cakewalk.
Exactly. All right, if nothing else, we just need a motion to adjourn.
Jump right in, Dave.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
All right.
Second.
All right, all those in favor of adjournment at 3:26?
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned.
Ricky got no position. That's great.